Hello, sports fans. Jim Spruill here with Mike Dugan from VIP SportsNet. Tonight, we're reviewing the NFC East. This is one that's near and dear to our hearts because living in Dallas, this one is one we follow the most. So, without further ado, Mike Dugan, who do you have as your fourth place team in the NFC East?
You know, it's kind of a toss-up for me. I have the Giants, 4-12. You know, they lost Beckham, but, I believe that there'll be a switch in the dynasty of quarterback by midseason if they're not winning games.
Right.
I think this is Eli Manning's last year as the Giants. No matter what happens, I think they're going to show him the door because everyone's flocking over that quarterback rookie. And, and they still have a strong running back in there. He tore it up this past season, running for over 1,300 yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry, 11 touchdowns. He averaged more yards than Zeke did, and not by much, but he's still
yards per carry,
yards per carry.
Oh, okay.
So he rushed the ball for 261 times, average of 5 yards. I mean,
that's pretty good considering they didn't have a right tackle.
Right, and so they got Gordon Tate in there, Sterling Shepard's in there. I want them to do, but it's just the media of New York. If you start losing, that New York media will be all over you, and it'll be the end of the season before it even starts for them. Who do you have?
Well, these teams are almost polar opposites of each other because one's strong on offense and one's strong on defense. I'm talking, of course, about the Redskins or the Giants, but I, too, went with the Giants at fourth place. Their offense ranked 17th in the league. Their defense was 24th. 3 first-round draft picks, a lot of controversy with the 6th pick taking Duke quarterback Daniel Jones, but now all those people that were questioning the pick seem to be in love with him. And then at 17, they went to Clemson and got their defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. And then they weren't through with the 32nd pick of the first round. They went to Georgia and took defensive back DeAndre Baker. Some of the additions they made, they brought in Jabril Peppers, but the one I really like is Kevin Zeitler, because I like what Gettleman's doing here. He's got a young quarterback, and I'll refer back to Andrew Luck, how they didn't protect him. And, quarterbacks hate getting pressure up the middle. So what does he do? He goes out and trades, brings in Kevin Zeitler, who was a 5th-rated guard by Pro Football Focus in the league. And then last year at the 34th pick, they drafted Will Hernandez, who he graded out as the 18th best guard. And then they went and picked up former Pro Bowl center LaCharles Bentley. So the inside of their offensive line is very formidable. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what they're going to do at right tackle, but that seems to be a real sore spot there. But, you already mentioned wide receivers, Shepard and Ingram. I really, they're
Tate. Gordon Tate.
Golden Tate, but
I see them running the ball more this year, giving him.
God, how can they run the ball more than they did last year?
Find a way.
And it's funny because I was alluding to the fact that the interior of the offensive line they upgraded. Well, they did the same thing with their defensive line. They got Dexter Lawrence, they got B.J. Hill, and they got Dalvin Tomlinson. Those 3 guys, they'll switch around in there. Them boys are going to be formidable.
Right.
The linebackers are good. Their secondary is iffy, but they've spent resources there. It's going to be like a fish or cut bait for Jabril Peppers because I personally think he totally underachieved the whole time he was with the Browns. I think he just needs to decide if he wants to play football or not.
Right.
I think this is going to be his last chance. But, the Giants are just putting together such a physical team, up front on both sides of the ball. NFC East plays big boy football.
Right. And the one thing is we get to at least see them play this Sunday against the Cowboys. We get to at least how good or how bad the season can be for the Giants.
Well, it's going to be all about when they bring in Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the first game or is it going to be later on? But it's going to happen. From all indications, Eli rededicated himself, come out with more velocity on his passes, but I just think it's too late. Maybe.
But the thing is, remember, he won them 2 Super Bowls.
How long ago was that?
Quite a while ago, but.
Yeah, we can talk about Frank Gifford. He was a great running back a long time ago with these boys. But I think at some point, it's inevitable, that Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback. I mean, I think with them spending the resources on the interior offensive line, I think they're trying to do everything they can to make him comfortable. They got the tight end, they've got the running back. They're just, they're setting up, man. And think about this: all these teams in the NFC East all have young, vibrant quarterbacks.
Right.
I mean, you have 3 first-round draft picks, and then the only one in the NFC East without one is the Cowboys. So, who did you go with your third team?
I went with the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
No Alex Smith. I mean, we kind of know what happened to him last year.
Yeah.
They brought in Case Keenum.
Yeah, they did.
I believe this will be Jay Gruden's on the hot seat if they did not perform.
Could be his last year, right?
Could be his last year. Josh Norman's still there. They did do well in the draft. They did bring up they drafted quarterback out of Ohio State as a back, but I just don't see it. I see him going 4-12 also.
Really?
Yes.
When I look at him, the offense was 28th ranked offense in the league, defense 17th. Up until Alex Smith got hurt, they were first place in the NFC East. I mean, and now they're trying to fix everything. One of the best offensive tackles in the league, Trent Williams, is holding out. So, and he told them he was going to. So at least the Redskins made some provisions by going out and getting Donald Penn for the Raiders. Who 4 years ago was considered one of the elite offensive tackles in the league. They are just the running back. You just look at the roster, they're going to try to pound the ball with Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson. I mean, his advanced age of 1,042 yards, even though only 4.2 yards a carry, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and start Geis over him. I mean, how would you like to have your backup running back being able to come in and get 1,000 yards? I mean, that says how formidable they are, or how great Adrian Peterson is. It does look like they're going to start that rookie wide receiver, Terry McLaurin from Ohio State. That's going to be interesting. But going here with the Redskins, man, it's just a matter of time. It's almost the same thing we just said with the Giants, because Dwayne Haskins, you don't take a guy in the first round at quarterback and not play him. They're going to play him. I think they would like to have their offensive line just a little more stout. I know the receivers aren't that good, so they may leave Case in there a little bit longer before they bring this kid in. They went out and spent a ton of money on Landon Collins at safety. But one thing in their favor, apparently they may have the easiest schedule in the league, so that might be working in their favor. But like I said, they're going to try to pound you with a running game, because their receivers don't scare anyone. But their defensive line sure scares you.
Right.
I mean, look up there and see all them first-round picks. Oh, my gosh, them boys are they're ferocious. Their front seven can get you. They spent, like I said, with Josh Norman and Landon Collins in the secondary, but that's not their strength. Their front seven's their strength, man. Those boys are about as physical as you can get in this man's league. So, yeah, that's my team right there for the third pick.
Well, guys, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. This is VIP SportsNet. Welcome back, sports fans. VIP SportsNet. Talking about the NFC East today. Jim, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
A second.
Okay. Key losses: Chris Long, gone. Nick Foles, gone. Carson Wentz played 11 games. Thrown for over 3,000 yards. 21 touchdowns, 7 receptions. Deshaun Jackson come back to Philadelphia, so that will be a good long ball to throw to him. He had a career low of 774 yards, so he's looking to bounce back. Last year, they're 14th in offense at 365 yards, 23rd in defense at 366 yards. So, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying 11-5.
Yeah.
I know you probably have the Eagles and.
No, Michael, I actually have the Dallas Cowboys as my number 2 team. because no one's repeated in the last, 10, 15 years hardly. There's nobody ever repeats back to back. And I just see the Cowboys with 4 of their 5 starters on offensive line dinged. Zeke Elliott, don't know what kind of shape he's in. Your tight end, your best tight end's, 37 years old, 38, somewhere in that area. So, the Cowboys, they're, 22nd ranked offense and 7th ranked defense. I don't know. My thing for picking the Eagles is the Eagles just got a lot of good football players. I think when we look at it, I think their offense is just better than the Cowboys. Their offensive line, for the most part, is healthy. Look over there and see, you got the wonder of Travis Kelce. You got Isaac Samalo. You got Lane Johnson, Jason Peters, Steven Wisniewski, Brandon Brooks. Offensive line's formidable. You look at all the defensive ends with Brandon Graham and Derek Barnett and Vinnie Curry. You look at the defensive tackles with Fletcher Cox and Malik Jackson, Timmy Jernigan, linebackers Zach Brown, Nigel Bradham, L.J. Fort. Then in the secondary with Ronald Darby and Sidney Jones and Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod, Avonte Maddox, and kicker, they even got Jake Elliott, who's better than what the Cowboys are trotting out there with their guy. But, yeah, I pulled a surprise.
That was not expecting that at all. So...
And the Cowboys are my favorite team, and I'm picking the Eagles against my better judgment, but no one's done it. No one's repeated. I like the Cowboys roster. You look over there, they've got the 7th ranked defense in the NFL. The offense, 22nd ranked. For all the star power, when you look on that offensive line there, with Tyron Smith and
that's why I have them going number 1 to repeat. You got Randall Cobb come from, as a free agent. Jason Witten coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
You got Amari Cooper, performing 7 touchdowns. He's hungry for a new contract. Zeke's going to show why he was worth that much money this year.
You think? But you look at Amari Cooper, didn't play a snap in the preseason. Zeke Elliott didn't play a snap in the preseason. And the Cowboys' offensive line, I love them, but Tyron Smith's got a back issue. Travis Frederick's coming back from Guillain-Barré syndrome. He had shoulder surgery, he had a sports hernia. Now, the best guard in football, Zach Martin, has got a twinge in his back. Lael Collins has got a kind of a sore shoulder. Then you look over there at Connor Williams, who's had to gain 25 or 30 pounds. The weak link, he's the only one that's healthy. The red zone problems with the Cowboys offense, just not being able to punch the ball in. When they got down there, it just seemed like it was so hard for them to score. New offensive coordinator. I know, this is heresy because I'm a big Cowboys homer.
Man, I'm saying 13-3. I think Prescott would do better than he did last year. Last year he threw for over 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns. I'm just saying this could be the year for the Cowboys. I know that's shocking for me to say because, I'm saying, Super Bowl or bust even for Jason Garrett because he's playing for a contract.
He's on the hot seat.
And that's who I have for our picks for the NFC East.
But I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but man, there's so many question marks everywhere you look. But the Cowboys linebackers are great. You got 2 defensive ends suspended for drugs. You've got Tank Lawrence, the best defensive lineman's got a shoulder issue, he's coming off of.
But
Malik Collins, foot.
We'll see on Sunday.
We'll see on Sunday. I hope I'm wrong.
It'll be a great year, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in for all our preview shows. Like us on Facebook, YouTube, all the platforms. You guys have a great day. This is VIP SportsNet.